To use the military or not to use the military? That is the answer we seek. When you live and work within the formations of the Department of Defense, it's easy to confuse the need to always be prepared with the need to act in the nation's interests. Many of you who watched the Caucasus Road to Conflict episode probably think the U.S. military is the appropriate response to the events briefed to the theater commander and staff. Many more probably thought the theater commander was being briefed because a military response had already been chosen. The truth is, the military is typically the last instrument of national power the U.S. wants to employ. If you combine key takeaway 6 from our Great Power episode and our Chillin' with a Fox number 2 discussion on intelligence support to planning, you hopefully understand two things. 1. Militaries are only a small part of modern international competition strategies. 2. Theater commanders and staffs get situation briefs so they can advise the National Command Authority on the best use of military capabilities in conjunction with other instruments of national power. You also hear this expressed in the phrase, whole-of-government approach. So what are these instruments of national power used in this whole-of-government approach? Well, they come in many acronyms, but none as well known as DIME. DIME. Some people hate it, other people love it. Most of us just abuse it as a slideshow format or an agenda bullet like we do with Okoka and Pamisi PT. So it will probably surprise everyone, we know we were, to find out that DIME is not doctrine. The closest you get is Joint Doctrinal Note 1 TAC 18. And even here, the authors make clear DIME is just one of a few acronyms that people can use. Quote, the DIME acronym, or Diplomatic, Informational, Military, and Economic, has been used for many years to describe the instruments of national power. Despite how long DIME has been used for describing the instruments of national power, U.S. policymakers and strategists have long understood that there are many more instruments involved in national security policy development and implementation. New acronyms such as MIDFIELD, or Military, Informational, Diplomatic, Financial, Intelligence, Economic, Law, and Development, convey a much broader array of options for the strategists and policymakers to use. So why do people use DIME at all, or any acronym? The simple answer is that analysts and decision makers need checklists like DIME to remind ourselves there are a lot of ways to solve problems. Likewise, there are a lot of ways adversaries can manipulate situations. A checklist like DIME helps us all remember that in great power competition, the greater game is always afoot. It reminds us that the military is but a chess piece on a very large board, and most of the time we are neither the king nor the queen. Within our own great power date scenario, the theater commander is providing their assessment to the National Command Authority so U.S. policymakers can give guidance on how to deal with the Black Sea region challenge. So while deep thoughts are occurring in halls of power, let's see what separates these instruments of national power. The diplomatic instrument. The essence of the diplomatic instrument is engagement, how a nation interacts with state or non-state actors, generally to secure some form of agreement that allows the conflicting parties to coexist peacefully. Two important considerations for any strategist contemplating economic action in pursuit of strategic ends are globalization and the particular nature of individual state economies. The information instrument. The informational instrument is about creating, exploiting, and disrupting knowledge. A state or non-state actor generally benefits when it employs an information advantage over another party. Creating and exploiting that information advantage is key to the employment of the information instrument in the national security strategy. The infrastructure, capabilities, and processes by which a state or non-state gathers, analyzes, disseminates, and exploits information are crucial foundational and institutional dimensions of power. Communication, synchronization, and information activities are two primary effects created to achieve the state's strategic informational objectives. The military instrument. The essence of the military instrument is the use of force by one party in an attempt to impose its will on another. This use can entail employing force, threatening the application of force, or enabling other parties to apply force in the furtherance of strategic ends. The economic instrument. The economic instrument focuses on furthering or constraining others' prosperity. Economic power is frequently considered the heart of national power. Whether the state has the economic power to pursue a particular strategy, or whether the effort to attain a strategic end will consume too much of the state's economic power, are crucial national strategy judgments. Few, if any, strategy's ends are worth putting the nation's economic power in jeopardy. The economic instrument consists of the following basic capabilities. Trade of goods and services generally increases the wealth and prosperity of trading partners. Conversely, limits or restrictions on trade, including sanctions and tariffs, can harm an adversary's economy. Finance and access to capital markets is required for modern businesses to undertake investments to increase productive capacity, and for modern governments to provide expected services, such as infrastructure, health, welfare, education, to their citizens. Restricting or impeding access to finance and banking systems can undermine others' economic prosperity. Aid. Aid is money or goods or material given by one party to another to increase the recipient's capability and/or capacity. Granting aid adds the recipient's ability to develop capabilities, while its withdrawal or reduction hinders that ability. As for all the other options like financial, intelligence, law, and development, it comes down to personal preference and the preference of your commander. Think of it this way. There are three kinds of note takers in the world: those who take extensive notes, those who take notes of just the highlights, and those who take no notes. Let the number of instruments of national power fit your note-taking style and that of your commanders. Closing in on the end of our video, here are three different graphics of the competition continuum and where problems in the Black Sea region fall. It should help you understand why the military won't be the first or won't be the most important national instrument applied. What does this mean to you, the analyst? Well, that depends on what echelon category you're at, and that is a topic for another video. Until then, we will leave you with this visual on how DIME shapes the national defense strategy. Thanks for watching, and God bless.